Now that's a Texas welcome. We have some music we're going to cue up in a few seconds, so when you get it, the music in the back, just play it and I'll ad-lib right into it, all right? So when you get the music in the back, just start it up and we'll go with it. First of all, people ask all the time, where are the leaders? They are here. You are the leaders. There is no political party, there is no elected official who can turn this country around. It's the people who will turn this country around. Make no mistake about that. You take this group in any Senate district, in any representative's district, in the state of Texas, in any congressional district, and you can elect who you want. You have that power. You have the ability, as Julie Turner said earlier, and she's one of my new heroes. Julie was a mom who's become an activist, who said, I'm working for my family and I'm working for my values. I'm not working for a party. I'm working for my family, my values, my state, and my country. And that is a force that the Democrats and the Republicans have yet to embrace and understand. You give me a mom looking out for her kids and watch out. And Dad will vote how Mom says most of the time. It is a great crowd on a great night. I'm disappointed that there aren't 5 more people here. If there were, we would have more people here than Obama has czars. We almost made it. You know, while we're here tonight, Nancy Pelosi is making another trip to California on your nickel. Do you know, and I'm not making this up, she spent $2 million last year of taxpayer money flying back on military jets, which she's allowed to do as Speaker, and spent $100,000 of taxpayer money on food and beverage, on military planes. Well, she better enjoy those fancy cashew nuts and that California Chardonnay, because the next time, if it's in November, she's on a military jet and she hears the word bailout, it's going to be when the military hands her a parachute and says, you're not Speaker anymore. Because we're going to win in November. Everybody stand. The song says they will not force us. They will not degrade us. They will not control us. We will be victorious. Are you ready? It's just the right fit. Let me tell you what we did this week. We formed a group. How many of you have heard of the Independent Conservative Republicans of Texas? If you have not, when you go home, go ahead and break our website tonight by going on and looking at our site. It's IC, the letter I, the letter C, Republicans.com. And let me tell you why I formed the group. When I got elected 4 years ago, people said when I got into the race against 2 established candidates who have been in office a long time and a city councilman, all fine people, but backed by the establishment, the only thing I had going for me, we didn't call it the Tea Party then, we called it the grassroots activists. The only thing I had going for me was you. And the people in Austin said, Dan can't win. He's just a radio guy. And then when we got 70% of the vote in a 4-way race because of you, they said, of course he won. He was the radio guy. It had nothing to do with being the radio guy, because when I first went out and campaigned, people said, well, okay, Dan, I've listened to you all these years. I remember you used to paint yourself blue on Channel 11, so why should I vote for you? And I had to prove myself. I had to prove myself that I stood with the people on the issues, that I would say what I believe what I'd say, and I'd go fight for it. And I said I'd go be the most conservative member of the Senate, and I have been. And I said we'd lead the party to the right, and we are. And so this week, I formed a group called the Independent Conservative Republicans of Texas, legislators who have signed a contract with the people. I'll be on Mike Huckabee Saturday night talking about this group. We did Glenn Beck yesterday, Laura Ingraham. Mike Huckabee said this is the clearest message that any group of Republican officials has sent since the contract with America. And what are our core principles? First and foremost, as elected officials, yes, we are proud Republicans, but our first allegiance is to the people, not the party. People before party. If Republicans in Washington would put people before party, they would have stood up in unison and demanded Michael Steele to step down the day after he turned in his expense report. It wasn't the $2,000 a friend of his spent in the bar. It was the $19,000 in five-star hotels, the $17,000 in private jets, and the $13,000 in limousines that came on the backs of people like you sending checks to the Republican Party for $25 or $50 a pop. That's not acceptable. That's not a Republican who I want leading our party. The Republicans need to stand up and say, that's not who we are. Our second core principle, and we phrase it, that we give you our word. We give you our word that we will limit government, be fiscally accountable, and fight for free market principles. 3,